If you prefer your iPhones to be smaller and cheaper, and many do, then you may be pleased to hear that there are rumors pointing to a new version of the 4-inch iPhone SE launching in 2018. Want to know more? In our iPhone SE2 Rumors article, we collect and analyze the clues, hints and evidence pointing to the release date of Apple's follow-up to the iPhone SE, which could be imminent, given that Apple has just registered 11 new phone models with EEC, as well as the iPhone SE2's tech specs, design, leaked images, new features and UK pricing. So you've come to the right place. iPhone SE2 release date. Lots of rumors point to a new version of the iPhone SE being launched relatively early in 2018. The latest report, by the Japanese blog Makotakara, points to a May 2018 launch. The site bases this on conversation with a casemaker who is apparently in the know. A Focus Taiwan report in August 2017 suggested that a new iPhone SE would launch in the first quarter of 2018, while another report, this time by the Taiwanese market research company TrendForce, believes a new iPhone SE2 is coming in the first half of 2018. It's possible that the iPhone SE2 could launch at Apple's WWDC event in June. And this theory was backed up by the discovery by the French site Consumac that the company has just registered a bunch of new phone models with the Eurasian Economic Commission, EEC. Furthermore, a report from a Chinese website at the end of February 2018 suggested that the iPhone SE2, with a 4.2 inches screen, more on that below, will launch at WWDC. There are a few reasons why this may not happen. However, Apple hasn't introduced an iPhone at WWDC since June 2010. Apple is said to be working on 3 new full-screen phones due to launch in September, one of which is rumored to be a lower-cost option. Read more about that below. Making it unlikely that an even cheaper iPhone SE would be introduced a couple of months sooner. WWDC is a developer conference with a particular focus on software and high-end products rather than entry-level devices. The real update to the iPhone SE may not come until September. If analyst Ming-Chi Kuo is correct, he believes that along with updates to the iPhone X and a bigger version of that full-screen iPhone with an OLED screen, Apple will launch a cheaper full-screen iPhone with a 6.1 inches LCD screen. This may be the true successor to the iPhone SE. However, this rumored LCD handset is larger than the iPhone SE, which would suggest that Apple may not continue to sell a smaller handset. iPhone SE2 price. The iPhone SE is currently available in 32GB and 128GB versions. In the UK, the 32GB model costs £379. 128GB is £479. For comparison, in the US the iPhone SE costs $399 for 32GB and $449 for 129GB. We expect the iPhone SE2 to be similarly priced when, and if, it launches. There has also been a suggestion that the iPhone SE could have a 4.2 inches screen rather than the current 4 inches. The extra 0.2 inches being made possible by reducing the size of the bezels. Although unlike the iPhone X, which has a screen that stretches to the base of the phone, and thus no home button, read about the iPhone X here. The home button is expected to remain on the iPhone SE2. The naysayers suggest that Apple wouldn't extensively change the design of the iPhone SE for such a minimal change in the dimensions of the screen. It would involve a lot of research and development for little noticeable difference to the consumer. iPhone SE2 design. While the iPhone SE looks similar to the iPhone 5s, there is an expectation that the iPhone SE 2 will look more like the iPhone 8, although may have different dimensions. A Chinese report from February 2018 says the iPhone SE 2 will have a similar design to the current iPhone SE, however, it will have a larger 4.2 inches display, apparently. The bigger display won't be due to it having an all-screen display like the iPhone X, though. The report states that it will still maintain the classic iPhone shape and the front home button to support fingerprint recognition. Another, a relatively radical prediction comes from the Makotakara report cited earlier, which says that a headphone port is going to disappear. Again, this is based on assertions by a case maker, and ports are exactly the kind of thing that case makers need to know about. The idea that Apple would redesign the iPhone SE so extensively doesn't get a lot of support from analysts like Ming-Chi Kuo, who believes that Apple is so busy with the successors to the iPhones X and 8 that it won't have the time or resources to focus on this entry-level handset. A complete redesign aside, one thing that is likely to change is the color options. The iPhone SE is currently available in silver, gold, space gray and rose gold options. The iPhone SE 2 is likely to be available in silver, gold, and space gray, like the iPhone 8. The rose gold and gold version have kind of merged in the iPhone 8, and it is likely that the new iPhone SE will also offer this new brassier gold color option rather than two gold options. Another possibility, if Apple is working on an extensive redesign of the handset, is that it may also feature a glass back, allowing for wireless charging. A feature introduced with the iPhone 8 and iPhone X. This could mean the new iPhone SE 2 will look more like the all-glass iPhone 4. There are theories that the iPhone SE 2 could have an all-screen design, like the iPhone X. Many publications and analysts are referring to it as the iPhone X SE. However, while this is something that could appear in the future, we think it will be some time before the home button-free design makes its way down to the entry-level iPhone SE 2 screen. As per KGI Securities analyst Ming-Chi Kuo's theory, Apple could introduce a 6.1 inches LCD TFT screen on its new low-cost iPhone, while the other iPhones will feature OLED screens like the iPhone X does now. New features. The new iPhone SE won't be a flagship, so you shouldn't expect any totally new features. It's more a question of which features will trickle down from the top-end iPhone X and 8 Plus. Wireless charging. The new iPhone SE 2, or iPhone X, could offer wireless charging thanks to the rumored glass back. Text24 claims that it received a tip from a very reliable source that the new iPhone SE 2 will have a glass back panel, and that it might support wireless charging. 3D Touch. Apple's 3D touchscreen tech has been around for a while, and it feels logical to add it to the SE, but sources say this will not be the case. Ming-Chi Kuo has given it the thumbs down. As Tech Times observes, this runs the risk of the feature being seen as nothing more than a gimmick that only customers who purchase the more expensive iPhones may enjoy. iPhone SE 2 specs. According to a Text24 report, on which the Focus Taiwan report mentioned above was based, the new iPhone SE 2 will offer an A10 Fusion chip, as seen in the iPhone 7. It currently offers an A9 chip, as used in the iPhone 6s. This Chinese report also suggests that the new iPhone will use a newer A10 Fusion chip, rather than the A9 in the current model, but sport 2GB of RAM and 32GB or 128GB capacities, as currently. In addition, we could see a 7MP FaceTime camera with Retina flash replace the 5MP FaceTime camera in the current model. Other than that, It is likely to keep many of the features of the current iPhone SE, such as 12MP camera. The current SE offers 12 megapixels with an f2.2 aperture. The iPhone 8 has an f1.8 aperture. No bump. One key difference between the iPhone SE and 8 is the lack of camera bump on the bigger model. Hopefully the new iPhone SE camera on the back of the iPhone will also be flat. 2GB RAM. The iPhone SE already offers 2GB RAM and it's unlikely that would see any more than that. 32GB or 128GB storage options. The battery will also have a slightly raised rating from 1640 mAh to 1700 mAh. This might be necessary to power the slightly larger display, if that happens.